Morning. Sorry, I've got the generator on. Gonna warm up later, it's a bit nippy now. Right, we're pointing today. We're doing a flush pointing. It's not how I do it, how I'd like to do it, but that's what the Heritage bloke wants, so we're doing what he says. It's NHL 3.5. There it is down there, Lime Green Company. Knock it up a whisk, and yeah, we'll carry on. Blow the dust out with the blower, and we've damped it down a little bit. Well, I've just wet that down quickly. Done some damage up here, haven't they? What's all that about? They're going to put a soffit on it, they don't? Must do. Yeah, the scaffold's still up. It's supposed to be down, but I don't know what's happened. It ain't. There you go. That'll do for the minute. Right, what this it's hard to get an angle of this. What this Heritage bloke's what there's grit in this, it's a grit mix. And then he wants it brushed back to expose the grit. Give it a bit of a tap. But I don't like it. These are new bricks. It's done in half bomb. There's nothing Heritage about it at all. It should have been a Westminster smudge. Well, I think so anyway. Which this is what this was more or less. The difference between this sort of flush pointing and Westminster smudge. Now they say there's Westminster smudge had these, there's a couple of free secrets. Like, well, it tell you now, it's so secretive that no one knows. The only difference is with Westminster smudge is the aggregate's finer. A lot of the jobs done in it are white mortar, so silver sand's used. So if you're going to do a Westminster smudge, you use silver sand, white cement to get the white. If you don't want it white, you just use like one. If you're using an NHL 3.5 as we are, you use the one which is 1mm at 0.5, so you get that finish without this grit. This grit thing is ridiculous on these bricks, but anyway, we do what we're told. That's what we have to do. Hockey docky. Right, penny roll jointing. Why? I don't know. It was sort of done in Victorians and times and after. I don't know when they stopped doing it. I don't know, just a cheap joint, I suppose. But how it was done, it's very difficult to see because most of the time it's weathered and you can't really see why. But I've found some spots here. Now, if you look at this, you can see it there. It's weathered a little bit, but all it is, it's understruck. We call it bastard edge pointing, where it's upside down weather pointing basically. And then there's a line cut through it with a penny or a penny tool, which I'll show you later. Right, that's an example of penny roll, how it was done. Understruck joint and the penny line cut in it. No one ever does it like that, no. I don't know why, that's how it should be done. What a lot of the lads are doing now, especially in London, they're raking out old weather pointing and replacing it with what they're calling it penny roll. But it's not penny roll, they're doing a flush joint and then putting a penny roll in it. Don't get me wrong, it looks nice, but that ain't how it was done, I've done an example there. It's not a good example because that's the wrong mortar for what we're using here. We've got a grit in it and you wouldn't use a grit sand. Well, I wouldn't anyway, because it's a Westminster smudge. Really they're doing with the penny roll in it, and with a Westminster smudge, it's like a silver sand you're using 1mm to 0.5. But most of the time we're matching in. Right, and this is what we'd be matching into. This is the best example I can find here. You can see there's the penny roll there, and it's weathered a bit. So it looks like a flush joint, but it isn't. It's where it's weathered. And you can just see the line in it. Most of this, you can't, the line's gone in it now. But that's a lot of the time when I was patching bricks and that's what you have to match into. So that's what we aim to do. Let me show you. Right, yet again, this is not a great example because if I was patching in, on the jobs I used to do, we would match the mortar a lot better. But this is the mortar I've got. That's all. I'm just showing you what I do. So what I do, I fill the joints up, flush them up, then I cut them top and bottom like a V joint, just to expose the arises. It ain't got to be nothing fancy, you know. It can be up and down, rough. It doesn't matter. Then when it's gone hard enough, and this hasn't, but I ain't got time to wait for it to show you this. You get the brush on it and you expose all the aggregate, and then put the penny roll in. And this ain't the best example I can do because I would need to match the mortar better. But that's the general idea. But that's what you're trying to do, because you're trying to match the weathering. So you know, you're trying to expose these a bit, these arises, rough it up, and then put the penny joint in. And it don't matter if you miss the penny joint here and there. You know, that's what it's supposed to look like. Yeah, that's it. And that's a bit of rustic flush we're doing. That's what they want. Don't look too bad, I suppose. That's the finished article. Whether you like it or not, that's what they want. So that's what they got. Right, that's the technique. Looks shit, doesn't it? What it is, you put it in proud, let it go off, and you cut it off. That way, pretty even, flush joint, we hope. There are other ways. You don't have to do this with sand and cement. I'll cut it off as I go, but lime's a different animal. A bit of touching up to do there. Can you believe this? And I bought this yesterday at the car boot for £2, the manhole lifter. Well, where we're working, the lady's just come out and said, we've got a blockage in the toilet, can you check our manholes? So, how about that? See, it works. That one weren't blocked, but up here it is. We ain't getting involved in it. But, there you go, the end bit of the blockage. And once you scraped it off, work it with the brush. Expose all the aggregate. Flat. That's it. That's how we do it. Right, we dealt with the sort of differences in the procedure of penny roll earlier on. I haven't showed you how to do the roll because it is easy, and I've got no head cam with me or nothing today, and they don't like me filming here either, so perhaps another time. It's quite simple. Basically, it's a straight edge and a jointer for forming the penny roll. Now, what do you use to form a penny roll? I'll tell you what you use. Use a Victorian penny. That's what I've been using for years anyway. There are penny roll tools, and I've got one. What do it? And I've seen some really old ones, and they're big long things with a big rounded end on them. But I don't know if everyone used them. I weren't about in Victorian times, was I? But they're called a penny roll for a reason, so I imagine they used a penny. Anyway, it works. I've never been able to get one of the other penny roll cutters, or whatever you want to call them, tools. But I've got a bloke who makes them. He makes them and tuck pointing tools. And that's the same shape as a tuck pointing tool, but it's only the same. That's the same width. You can see that as a penny. I can't remember if it's 2 or 3 mil. I'm not sure now. yeah, and it works fine. It's stainless steel, so if I don't use that for another couple of years, I just chuck it in the back of the van and I need it, it's going to be fine. There's going to be no rust on it or nothing. That's the beauty of stainless steel. Yeah, he makes these and tuck pointing tools. I reviewed the tuck pointing tools a while back, and yeah, and it's all good stuff, all good stuff. So if you're interested, if you want them, contact him on Facebook. He's got a Facebook page, so you can get him on Facebook on his messenger. But there is a phone number there, you don't mind me giving it out. It's Phillips Brickwork. Oh, you can't see that, can you? It's going to be back to front. Right, it's Phillips Brickwork on Facebook. Yeah, just do that. Just log onto his Facebook page and you can message him. Yeah, and ask him what he'll do for you, what they are. I'm not sure of the cost. Yeah. I'll just add to that penny roll. It ain't only unique to this country. I lived in inland Spain a few years ago for a few years up in the mountains. And let's take the dogs for a walk down the river down. There's a big brick built bridge over the river, and that was built out of brick with that joint. I suppose they called it Peseta roll, did they? But yeah, it's the only time I've ever seen it in Spain. Yeah, it was done, so yeah, not totally unique to the UK. And while I'm at it, while I remember, I've done this video today anyway. I was always wanting to do it, it's getting the right opportunity. This wasn't the right opportunity, but there was a chance to show it. The penny roll, that is. It came up because on our Facebook group, someone asked about it a few weeks back. Put an example up, and there's a lot of people saying it was grapevine, for, you know, American bricklayers. But it's not grapevine. There's a difference between grapevine and penny roll. This is a grapevine tool. Right. Well, I've used it once because it was for a test panel. Somebody thought they might want it on the job, but they didn't. It's a little bit thicker than a penny. Now, I don't know if there's any American bricklayers on here. With the penny roll, we use a straight edge, so it's straight line. I believe with the grapevine joint, it's just done freehand. So there is, you know, that's the difference between penny roll and grapevine, just to clear that up. Yep. So I showed you that. Down. I'll show you this, we wet everything down, and then when it's done with fine spray, just keep it damped down, otherwise you can have problems, you know. Had the sun on it, so it's covered up with wet Hessian. You don't want it all cracking on you.